Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book addict. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here, and today my video is going to be a review or discussion on Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. I haven't actually decided how I'm going to talk about this. It definitely will not be spoilery. I hate... it's just really hard for me to decide. Like, it's very difficult for me to talk about the third book. You know, I'm just... If it gets spoilery... If it's going to get spoilery at any point, I'll just let you know and then you can exit out of the video. But first, let's just talk about... This book was amazing. That was simple enough. Like, it seriously was. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars because, first off, let's just get out of the way. Diana Gabaldon just has a way of writing, and it's just so seamless from Outlander to this one. All the first 3 books have been amazing. Yes, Dragonfly and Amber was slightly slower, but there was a lot of... It was like a change from Outlander to Dragonfly and Amber, what the content was within the actual book itself. And let me put this over here. So it was extremely seamless, the transition from each book to the next, and it of course continued with Voyager. The way Voyager ended, it's just like, it engages you and it makes you want more. And yes, this book is quite long, but I felt that this was, and I've been reading extremely slow lately, just like reading a little bit every day, I felt it to be a very fast read. Like, you're sitting there and the next thing I know, I'm like, holy crap, I just read 100 pages. How is that even possible? Because you don't feel it, and that's something that I love, that time just slips by. It's kind of like when you play Minecraft for a really long, like, you think you're only playing Minecraft for 30 minutes, but then it turns out you've been playing for 3 hours. Same feeling with Voyager, and it's just so amazing. The storyline for this was just as gripping as ever. You don't know what's gonna happen. There's little twists and turns throughout the whole thing. There were a couple of moments that Claire got a little annoying to me, but at the same time, I never took that against her or put that like against her, whatever, because I understand that the situation and the circumstances in which she was in, it was extremely difficult to just be like, okay, you know, she's worried about everything going on and just all these things that she has to do or did to, you know, get to where she was in the book. Like, I understand it and I didn't take it against her. Jamie was as adorable and sweet and as kind as ever, and I just like love him, and it was just such a good storyline. Like, it was just so like, whoa. And there's a plot twist in the book, something that I really wasn't expecting after having read Dragonfly and Amber, knowing what happens in Outlander, and I'm just like, I wasn't expecting that. Really wasn't expecting that. So before I get into any spoilery discussions, see, I am going to talk about spoilers. Sorry, I just can't help it. I do want to say though, if you stopped midway Dragonfly and Amber, or you just didn't finish it, or you felt like you don't want to continue the series, I highly recommend you pick up Voyager. Much quicker pace. The storyline is superb. It really does keep you going. The writing is amazing. The characters are as inviting and as intriguing as ever. So please continue on with the series. It's extremely good. But if you haven't read the book, I do suggest you exit out now, because I do not want to spoil you unless you like spoilers. You know, if you watch movies and stuff and you read the book after, then you're totally fine with it. In that case, stay. But I'm not going to delve into like the plot line and the storyline too much. But I am going to talk about a few things that have really just like stuck in my head. Like, they're in there. So, hello spoilery people. Hopefully you've read the book, because I would really hate to spoil you, but if you did, it's cool, because I like to be spoiled every now and again. I really, at the moment, I have 3 things I want to talk about. Yeah, there's really only 3 things I want to talk about. The very first thing I want to talk about, and these are in no particular order as you're actually reading the book. The first thing I want to talk about is how it ended. They're in freaking America. I'm really excited. They're in the colony of Georgia. They're in Georgia. This is so exciting. I want to know, like, I'm just so curious to see how the story is going to continue from here. Because Jamie's fucked it up for them everywhere else they've gone. Oh my god. I just realized, I hope my brother can't hear me because he watches the show. Anyway, how did they end up in America? Like, not how did they end up in America. How are they going to continue the story, like, in America? What's going to happen? Because Jamie has an issue. He's a sweetheart, and I know he means well, but he has an issue. So that's the first thing. Like, you know, it's just like a curiosity. What's going to happen in the next book? I will pick up Gems of Autumn soon, actually. The second thing I want to talk about is, well, we should talk about that first, because that's how it happens. Galis Duncan. How is that bitch still alive? I thought it was going to be someone they knew. I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought, dang, you know, I forgot the woman's name already. Oh, Abernathy, right? Wasn't that her name? That she used, Abernathy? I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really bad at retaining, like, actual names. But I was expecting, you know, Mrs. Abernathy to be someone they knew. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be someone that they knew and that it was going to be, like, a big surprise. But I wasn't expecting it to be Galis because in Outlander, you know, she's burned as a witch. And then in Dragonfly and Amber is Claire trying to prevent her from going back in time and stuff like that. I think, no, that doesn't happen in Dragonfly and Amber. That happens in the beginning of Voyager. What am I talking about? So, like, you know, like, you don't think she's going to come back and she's going to be there as this plump little old lady. And I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely upset with Galis. I've always loved Galis and her wickedness and how, like, weird she is. But I really disliked her, like, in some parts. In some ways, I still liked her. But I was very, like, turned off by her character in Voyager, like, towards the end with Ian. And it's like, why would you do that to Ian? And how could you do that to all those other Scottish boys? Like, I was just so, like, you're a horrible person. All because she didn't like the pain of going through the time swapping and all that other stuff. And then, like, was she gonna do something to Brianna? Okay. So I'm just going to recap. Beautiful floppy paperback. It fell twice. It fell earlier and it bent it a little. I mean, I kind of understand now that she was the one that sent the rocks. She was like, oh, I left those rocks there and, like, you know, the gems and stuff. That I didn't, like, blame her much for because obviously if you're trying to get back and you need your stones, like, I get that. You knew where you put it or you knew who the person you sent it to put it because you were the one that did it, you know? It makes a lot of sense because Homegirl was super, like, for Stuart, Charles, whatever his name was. So, like, I understood that. But did you really need to take Ian? Did you really need to, like, use a sacrifice to begin with to get back in time? Which, thankfully, she didn't. So, you know, that's all I have to talk about her. And the last thing is, the last thing is, the part where she's with the slaves, you know, Claire, and she's witnessing the woman who I already forgot the name, that was, like, people were asking her questions about, like, spirits and stuff. The part where you hear Brianna's voice and it's like, don't let her go alone, like, you know, talking to Jamie and stuff. I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, that was just so, like, what did that mean? At first, I'm not gonna lie, when that happened and then they went after Galis, I thought that maybe they were talking about, like, she's gonna go back in time by accident and then she's, like, gonna pull Jamie with her. But it could be that means in the future. Who knows? We'll find out. Or I'll find out. If you've already read on, you know what's gonna happen. But, like, you know, like, I was very, very curious about that and what that was gonna bring and what was gonna happen. And then actually there was one more thing. Other than that part, hearing Brianna's voice and talking to her parents and telling Jamie not to let mom go alone or don't let her go or something. I mean, that could have just referred to the part in the cave. But the whole thing about ruling and, like, you know, that whole prophecy or whatever about the Fraser, is it Jamie or is Brianna gonna come back in time? Or is it in the future in Brianna's time? I'm honestly, I have a feeling she's going to try to come after her mom, think about her mom, and use her mom as, like, without realizing it, as a guide point to, like, go back in time. Like, I'm extremely curious as to whether that's gonna happen or not. No joke. So like I'm really like, what's gonna happen? What is gonna happen? How is that gonna play into this? Is she ever gonna go back in time? But honestly, the rest of the story was amazing, and I loved Fergus and the character that he became. Ooh, one thing I was not expecting was when they go, when Jamie and Claire go back to Lollybrock, I said that weird, anyway, and like they're in the room and Loer, is that how you pronounce her name, shows up, and I was just like, what happened? I do not understand how that happened. I was just like really like surprised, and the way it was explained I completely understand, and it made perfect sense. But anyway, like honestly, the rest of the book, there's just so many things to talk about, but those were the biggest things that like stuck out to me and I noticed the most. And like I loved the story. It's so good and it just keeps getting better, and that's something that I really enjoyed. Like each book is different from each other, but each of them are just as amazing as the last. And you know, regardless of the fact that like, you know, if I broke it down this way, Outlander was like the most exhilarating in the fact that like so much happens back to back and it's just a new world and everything's happening with Claire and the love building between her and Jamie. Dragonfly and Amber was slower because of everything that happened in Paris, and because that one was really based on politics and trying to like do everything. And then Voyager was just so much fun because it's like, you know, them being together after not having been together for 20 years and seeing their dynamic and just like how everything worked out. So I like really enjoyed it, but I hope if you stopped at any point you will continue. I mean, I know they're hunkers of the books. Read them in portions if you need to. It's so funny because since I started reading it back in November or October, whenever I did, there were parts in the book that happened in Voyager that I thought happened in Dragonfly and Amber. I really did. But, you know, I love it. I really do. And I'm so excited to, like, read the next one and see what happens. But I have to, like, take breaks in between those books because the thing is I have 5 books left to read. But I know me, and I could, you know, spend the next 5 months reading just those books, and then I'll be over with the series. So I am doing I'm doing Blue Books. I'm sorry, it's just something I have to do, and I'm slowly but surely getting through it. But anyway, that is my review for the very amazing Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. I hope you guys enjoyed it if you read it, or, you know, even if you don't read the books, I hope you love the show or have given the show a chance because it's so good. Mature audiences only, or if your parents don't care, more power to you. So, yes, I love it, and I will see you guys next time, and I hope you guys had a great reading day, and yeah, bye.